And hello all of my fellow nerds out there, this is Oracle Nerd Richie and welcome to Moments. This is a visual novel game that I found on itch, and okay, honestly, I don't even know what else to say, but I found this on itch while I was scrolling around for the LGBT games, right? And this one popped up, and the art style caught my attention, because you guys probably know who I am. I'm pretty much a sucker for good art style, and this one I just like the art style in this one. Like, it may not be as realistic looking as Our Life, or as cutesy looking as any of Nami's games, but it looks really unique, and I kind of want to play it. So let's go ahead and click start. Walking home, Soul realized he left his homework at school. Oh, okay, so I guess this is our main character, Soul. Okay, honestly, gotta say immediately, I love the green color scheme. For those who don't know, yes, my channel colors are blue, but my favorite color is green. It's kind of one of those things that I really like. Anyways, it was the 5th time that year he almost kept walking. There was a math test next week, and if he failed again, his parents were sending him to after-school lessons. Any kid would know that's a terrible thing to go through sometimes. So turning around, Soul began to walk back to St. Smith's Academy. St. Smith's Academy, whose acronym made a rude word. Wait. Oh, right. If you said it backwards. Okay, yeah, that makes sense now that I noticed. It was a private school. A nice private school, where rich people sent their kids. Oh, okay, so it's one of those school stories. Yeah, I think I understand. Soul was there because his parents owned Fitzroy Foods, whose tomato soup ruled the canned food aisle. But being a tomato soup heir wasn't that great. It didn't let Soul get away with forgetting his homework, nor did it make him fun to be around. Soul was the kid who sat in the back of the class, silent until he was called on. The one who barely passed, and even that was because his parents threw money at the school. 60 years of his life, and Soul hadn't lived, laughed, or loved yet. Oh? And he definitely wasn't going to live, laugh, love today. In front of him was Chet Chester, who sat in the front row, made unfunny jokes no one laughed at. Great, so he's kind of an unfunny class clown. Gotcha. His hand was on the teacher's desk, like a kid who had been caught stealing from a cookie jar. Well, this was awkward. Don't mind me. I just want to get my mouth full. Okay. Without a second glance, Chet went back to snooping. So stood there, and felt immensely uncomfortable. He swallowed, made a silent prayer to no one in particular, and then walked over to his desk. Then he got his homework. When he looked back, Chet was still standing there, staring right at him. Now he had something in his hand, so tried not to look at it. So that's your homework? Yeah. Cool! These are my test answers. Soul had a sudden urge to run. Chet wasn't supposed to be scary, except he sort of was. So what if he had round cheeks and bright eyes? I'm hoping you're talking about his face. His shirt was buttoned long, and his tie was poorly done. The gym shorts he was wearing was against dress code. The smile he was giving him was sharp enough to cut. No matter how messy cute Chet looked, the cuteness was a lie. So began inching his way towards the door. I'm going to leave now. Hey, wait, come back here. Don't you want to buy? Not really. With a grin, Chet walked up to Soul, stepping forward every time Soul stepped back.
By the time Soul's back hit the wall, their faces were inches apart. Chet beamed and shook the test answer into his face. These are the real deal, you know. You saw me take them yourself. Plus, I've seen your grades and you definitely need these. Aren't you always the bottom of the class? Just because their school did grade rankings didn't mean Chet had to throw it in his face. Soul bristled and turning away so Chet didn't have to see just how annoyed he was. None of ya. Huh? None of your business. Aww. Fine, I wasn't doing anything. You didn't see me today. So this was what it was about. Chet was worried Soul was going to snitch on him, so he was trying to make him into an accomplice. Because if Soul brought the answers, he'd get in trouble too. It was smart, but also stupid because Soul had no intention of telling on it either way. Soul didn't like trouble. He didn't go around looking for fights, not when he was definitely going to lose. It's okay. I can't even get my math right if I saw you looking for something. In your own desk. It's none of my business. I'm just here for my mouth. Which I have now. So, but to his surprise, Chet shifted his feet, blocking the way again. The problem was solved, right? Soul wasn't going to snitch on her, so why wouldn't Chet let him leave? You know, Soul, you're a really nice guy. Can't believe I didn't know you before. I'll give you the answers for free, actually, because I'm nice too. But I thought, oh, this isn't about keeping you quiet or anything like that. I just want to help. For some reason, helpful Chet made Soul even more nervous than evil Chet. In the goodness of his heart, horrible things could happen. For the third time, Soul tried to get around Chet. It's okay. I don't need help. But I could tutor you? But you're stealing test answers? Yeah, but I'm still pretty smart. No thanks. As Chet beamed up at him, so Soul realized he was having fun. Too much fun. He was being messed with right now, wasn't he? Stop being annoying. Sorry then, that sort of just slipped out. Oh, but I'm not annoying. For some reason, Chet looked sort of hurt. His wayward menace of a classmate of pouting because someone called him annoying. Soul was never going to understand anything, ever. Goodbye. Hey, before you leave, what's my game on Friday? He ended up at the game on Friday. Not that he wanted to, because Soul would have been happy with never seeing Chet again. He was fine with avoiding him for the rest of his life. But when your parents own the 4th largest suit company in the nation, you kinda had to have a public face. Soccer wasn't just soccer, it was showing school spirit, supporting the community, and most importantly, made for great PR. So there Soul was, watching a soccer game like all the other kids his age. This was going to end up in the company newsletter next month, he just knew it. At least Chet was having more fun than he was. He was playing like a demon, making what was supposed to be a soccer game into pure chaos. He had the ball. In fact, the ball had been his ever since the game began. Every time someone tried to steal it, he cackled and kicked them in the shins. Don't even try. His teammates had long given up, most of them retreating to the corner. The other team was equally miserable, some already sporting bruises. They looked pleadingly at the referee for help, but even he was averting his eyes. Grrrah! That wasn't in the rule book. Soul was terrified. He also couldn't look away. It was an absolute farce of a game, but it was also the first game he found interesting in his life. These are the classmates who asked money when they had more than enough themselves. Now they were getting kicked by a boy whose shoelaces weren't even tied. He's feral. As horrible as Chet was being, there was something magnetic about his every move. He was undeniably good, even if there were no limits to how he terrorized the field. Hey, watch where you're going. Oh, he's down. That had to be accidentally on purpose. Chet cackled and kept going. Another goal. Effortlessly, or perhaps because of his ruthless efforts, Chet scored again and again. No one was even tracking his goals anymore, but he kept going until time ran out. As the referee announced his victory, the glint in his eyes was chilling. As Chet wiped the sweat on his face with his shirt, Soul had to look away. His face felt warm, but what could he say? It must have just been the sun. Yeah, sure. Sure it was the sun. Of course it might have been. As if. Chet looked over and saw him staring and smiled. Soon after that, Soul left the game. He left quietly without a word to anyone because he knew he wouldn't be missed. Chet might have smiled up at him, but he was still just one face in the crowd. So there were no post-game celebrations for him. Instead, Soul found himself staring at the sunset through a chain-link fence. The parents worked late enough that he'd be standing there for a while, but that was fine. Soul didn't want to go home yet. It was nice, quiet, lonely, he might even say. But he wouldn't say that. This was a good way to pass the time as any. And then Chet came, springing up from behind with a grin. Soul was a little surprised, but he was also a little happy. Hey. Hi. So, nice game, right? I guess. It was better than I expected. Really? What did you expect? Nothing. Huh. Well, I'm glad you came anyways. I usually go. I don't like soccer though. Eh? Chet tilted his head, giving Soul an expectant look, waiting for him to elaborate. Not that there was much to say other than my parents made me. Really, the bigger question was why Chet was here right now. I don't like soccer, but my parents make me. For the school spirit. It looks good in the newspaper. Gee, it must be hard. My parents don't own a soup company. They just do boring stuff like work? I never actually asked. I see. At least no one's calling me Soup Boy. I'll start by calling you Balls. That's awful. Awful and awkward because then they were both standing there not saying anything. So I wished he was a better conversationalist, or at least capable of coming up with words. Why are you here? Somehow that was worse than not saying anything at all. I mean, don't you have to go home? It's getting late. Well, don't you? My parents are at work. Right. Well, I told my mom I'd be late from soccer. I didn't say how late. A wave of jealousy washed over his soul, and he couldn't hide the bitterness in his face. Running a tomato soup empire was tough. Soul knew that, and yet it still stung. His parents had chosen the soup over their child. It's okay, I'll hang out with you until then. We can play soccer if you want. No thanks, I don't run. And you don't need to stay. I think you're pretty good company though. You came to my game, didn't you? I caught you staring at me. That was a surprise. Soul didn't realize that Chet had noticed. He thought he wouldn't. Not when he was just one face amongst many. Then again, when he looked at Chet with his face illuminated in orange,
Soul knew he'd noticed Chet in the crowd too. You look like you were having fun when you played. I do. I think I'd have fun with you too. You say some pretty funny things. Really? Sure. Why don't we be friends? Soul never heard anyone say that before. There wasn't much going for him. He wasn't good at school, wasn't good at sports, spent his time waiting for his parents to pick him up. For a while now, Soul had felt empty, like a hollow shell of a person. Not like Chet at all, with a spark of light that made his eyes shine. And yet, Chet wanted to know him. He was afraid Chet would regret it. What if he was boring or tiring or flat out unlikable? But Chet didn't seem worried about any of that. When he looked at Soul, he cocked his head and smiled so warmly, it was like they were the only people in the world. And that was a lot. Overwhelming enough that Soul felt his cheeks getting warm. The air was still cold, but the heat of his face felt like rebellion. Then Chet extended a hand, waiting for him to take it. There was no way Soul wouldn't. Wrinkling the sleeve of his perfectly ironed uniform, he shook. Just once was enough. It smelled like cigarette smoke. That was what Soul thought as he stood behind the school, Chet blabbering next to him. For some reason, Chet had decided this is what they were going to do at lunch. I didn't know you were a smoker. Oh, I'm not. But I found a pack on my way to school and thought we could try. I figured we should start with the worst, and our friendship will be smooth sailing from then on. Here you go. How unhinged. Then again, Chet did steal test answers and kick people in the shins, so maybe this made sense after all. So it's going to become an enabler at this rate. Okay, let's set it on fire now. How do I use this? Oh, I got it. See, so the light is working now. The Chet beamed up at him, so knew he was doomed. He was definitely going to become an enabler. Actually, give me that. I don't want to use it. It's bad for you, so I'll do it. Chet looked at the cigarette, then at Soul, then the cigarette again. And then his shoulders slumped against the wall. Maybe this was a bad idea. You think? Chet shrugged and let the cigarette drop from his fingers. And then he dug his heels into the pavement, making sure Soul could see every grind of it. Yeah, I guess. Sorry, Soul. And I thought it'd be cool, like, I kinda wanted to impress you. You really don't need to. I mean, I know that now. Now that I thought about it, maybe Chet didn't have many friends either. If Soul wasn't there, would he be at the back of the school by himself, coughing up cigarette smoke? Suddenly, Soul understood him a bit more. You know, we can just talk. Huh? Like, about what? I don't know. Whatever you want. You like soccer, right? Tell me about soccer. So I kicked the ball into his face, and there was a crunch. But when I ran over, his nose was fine. It was actually the wrapper on the ground, a really loud one. See, that's frightening. I know, right? Anyways, lunch is nearly over, so I guess I'll shut up. Are you ready for the math test? What math test? Maybe you should take the Chet sheet. The Chet sheet. That's a cheat sheet, but I mean. No, that's fine. I just didn't know it was today. Soul felt like an absolute moron. How could he have forgotten the entire test? And now with Chet offering him the answers, he couldn't say yes.
all the fuss you put up for the first time around, so couldn't just take them. Even if that meant failing. No, seriously, it's not like failing's gonna help you either. I admire your integrity, but I also feel bad for you. You sure you don't want them? No. I don't want to get in trouble. Fair, I guess. How about this? It's multiple choice, so I could probably do hand gestures and stuff. I'll tap my pencil for a question number, then jiggle one like 2, 3, 4 times for 1, 2, 3, 4 times for A, B, C, D. You don't have to look over if you don't want to, but I'll still do it. Okay? Yeah. Thanks, Chet. So hoped he wouldn't need the answers. Deep down, he knew that he would. Okay, everyone, clear your desks. Get out your pencils, it's time to take the test. I hope you study, because this one's brutal. I'm honestly the opposite of Soul. I actually was really great at math when I was a kid. So like I've actually always been good at it because it was like one of my strongest subjects. Like right next to science and I want to say English. I don't know. It's been a long time since I thought about school at all. The teacher sounded way too happy about that. Soul sighed, got out his pencil, and prepared himself for an hour of pain. Linear functions, more like linear dysfunctions. Linear functions aren't that difficult, actually. I mean, no, I'm not saying this to sound like a badass or like to sound like an awesome person. No, I'm really meaning that they aren't actually difficult. Like, why would they ever be difficult? The more he stared at the questions, the more incomprehensible they became. Numbers swarmed in his vision, adding and subtracting and multiplying. Saul didn't even know where to start. I have to graph this? Or is it the quadratic equation? Saul looked to the left. The kid beside him was overjoyed to be taking the test. Looked to his right, his seatmate was writing furiously. There was no doubt about it, Soul was hopelessly lost. He was going to hand in a blank sheet and fail. Hey, this isn't too bad. Quiet, Chester. Sorry. That's right, Chet said something earlier. About this. It's multiple choice, so I can probably do hand gestures and stuff. I'll tap my pencil for question numbers, then you go 1, 2, my leg 1, 2, 3, or 4 times for A, B, C, D. Soul raised his head and stared at him. Quietly, so no one noticed, Chet was tapping his pencil. Question 4. The answer was A. Guiltily, Soul bubbled it in. For the first time, his test taking clear, Soul allowed himself to have hope. If he followed Chet's movements, maybe he could actually pass. All he had to do was watch him carefully. Easy, right? Eyes on your own paper, Soul. The front of the room can't be that interesting. But I wasn't looking at anything. Oh no. Because Soul had been staring at him for so long, the teacher was walking towards Chet. His eyes narrowed in suspicion. It would only be for a second before he noticed the gestures, and a second more before he realized they were on purpose. Chet was going to get caught. Soul had to do something. Excuse me. Is there a problem, Soul? Yes, there is. My head hurts? Really now? You can go to the nurse after you finish your test. I really need to go now. It's bad. Really bad. Really bad. Oh, I see. Soul, you clever dog. I didn't expect Soul to be the clever type. I feel faint. So we're going to go pass out. He had no idea what he was doing, but at least no one was looking at Chet anymore. Instead, the entire class was looking at him. This was terrifying. So could feel his head really begin to hurt. The numbers are making me sick. With all the acting skills he had, So closed his eyes and swooned and fell down. Ow! That head actually hurt! Alright. I'm taking you to the nurse. The rest of you, wait here and don't move a muscle. Thanks. What was that? Did you really pass out from seeing numbers? Of course not. Uh-huh. It really wasn't the numbers. It was, the teacher noticed you moving. Eh? Like the pencil tapping and stuff? Yeah. I thought you were going to get caught. Oh, nuts. Well, thank you, Soul. It wasn't too bad that the test got cancelled. Now they had to take a makeup, which meant Chet's test answers were useless. But as Chet smiled gratefully at him, Soul thought it was a good thing he acted. You're not going to do that smooth faint pass out thing on the makeup, are you? No. Anyways, I'll lend you my notes. Chet's notes were messy and scrawled to the point of being utmost illegible. But they had everything. Soul needed to know, which meant he could pull an all-nighter, cramming as much as he could into his brain. And somehow or another, I passed. Really? That's great. What'd you get? 51. It's better than 50 at least. Sure is.
Self-voicing disabled.
Nice job, Soul. Yeah. Thank you, Chet. Eh? I didn't really do anything, though. You gave me your notes. Figured out your handwriting was a surprisingly good study method. I'm really grateful. Well, I'm glad it helped. I'll give you my notes again next time there's a test, whatever you need. For now, let's celebrate. I'm going to buy a cupcake. I like the vanilla ones. Okay. And Chet ran off so quickly that he almost tripped over his feet. So watched him go and wondered if he was alright. Then again, maybe he was really excited about the cupcakes. So could understand that. It was nice to know he'd passed, and even nicer that it was going to taste like frosting and sprinkles. Looking down at his hands, Soul smiled to himself. Oh? Then again, maybe it had been too early to celebrate. With a smarmy grin, the boy plopped himself into Chet's seat and leaned forward. Billy? Oh, it's Billy. Screw you, Billy! Hey, Soup Boy. Hi. Heard you did well on the test. Well, good by your standards. Most people wouldn't be happy with a 51. But I guess you can't afford to be picky, huh? Speaking of a Ford, Soul knew what this was about. In grade 9, he had given his lunch money to a boy who asked nicely, and now he never stopped asking. His name was Billy, and he was, well, a bully. I mean, Billy the Bully, I like the alliteration, but I don't know, kind of worn off on me. Soul knew for a fact that he was well off. His parents owed a phone company, so there was no reason to ask for money other than taking things from others. You must feel like celebrating, so why not treat your bestest buddy in the world? I'd like to get a cupcake, so you want my lunch money. I want your lunch money. Soul sighed and reached into his wallet. Because of him, he had taken to bringing more than he should, sometimes even 100 more. His parents probably thought he was a terrible spender, but they let him take the money, so what did it matter? He reached out his hand about to contribute to Billy's cupcake fund, and stopped. No. No! This was stupid. The best thing he could do was give him the money. Then he'd laugh and leave, and so he'll feel safe for the rest of the period. That was what always happened. The soul thought about Chet. What if this was the scene he wanted to come back to? Chet would say no. Chet wouldn't even think about saying yes. Chet would be disappointed if Soul said yes. So Soul clenched his fist and said it again. No. Buy your own lunch. No way. Come on, Soul. Bad day today or something? You know what? I'll just take his. But that's Chet's. Well, he's not around to eat it, is he? Here, lunch money. Soul held out his hand in a flash. The bills disappeared into Billy's pocket. Thanks. I owe you one. More like several million. With a grin and a wave, he was gone. Soul tried not to think about it. She went back to eating his lunch and found that everything tasted worse. And that was the moment Chet came back. What was that supposed to be? With the look of someone holding himself back, Chet threw himself in his chair across from Soul. Here, your cupcake. Why are you giving him money? He was going to take your lunch. That doesn't matter. You should have said no. It's fine. I still have enough. It was only $20. That's not the point. You can't just put up with that. You should have let him take my lunch. Then I would have kicked him. Sorry. Damn it, Soul. You should be the one that's sorry. Come on, let's go. Soul half thought they were going to confront the boy, then and there, instead Chet dragged him behind the school, then made him put his arms out. Standing there, Soul stared in confusion. What are we doing? We're teaching you how to fight. What? But I can't fight. Maybe Chet would pick fights and win, but Soul wasn't like him. It was easy to do what people wanted, so no one got mad. Then they'd leave and Soul could go on with his life. He frowned, lowering his arms. It's okay, Chet, really. I can't afford to lose a couple of dollars. Oh my god, Soul, are you suing yourself? Fine, fine. At least let me teach you how to punch. I don't know. Come on, Soul. It'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be fun. I've always wanted to teach someone fighting moves, like those old guys on TV. It was hard to tell if it was true. Either Chet really wanted to teach someone how to fight, or he was saying it so Soul wouldn't feel bad asking for help. Soul sighed. There was no way he could say no, right? Okay. Epic! We should find a block of wood so you can chop it in half. No. Oh, you want something stronger? A brick? No! I don't like the pain. No fun. Yeah, that's me. Well, go on, make a fist. Soul did. He made a fist, clumsily folding his fingers over each other, then looked at the Chet for approval. Right now, he didn't feel like an MMA prize fighter. He felt like a goofy high schooler. Nope. That's not how you make a fist. You'll break your fingers like that. Here, let me fix it. With that, Chet grabbed his hand, rearranging his fingers in a way that was surprisingly gentle. Then he let go, so realized he felt stronger. See? This is how you do it. The thumb goes on the outside. Let's see. You can let go of my hand now. Oh, sorry. Chet let go and grinned sheepishly, rubbing the back of his neck. For a moment, it was like they were holding hands. Sort of, if Chet's palm over his counter. It made Soul feel kind of fluttery inside. Chet's skin had been really warm. Neither of them truly believed Soul could start a fight, much less win, but fooling around like this did make him feel better. Well, go on. Throw your arm out. Punch something. Just like that? Yeah, and twist your hips and swing. I don't know. I've never tried before. I'm going to do it wrong. Maybe you could show me how? Yeah, sure, I guess I could. Chet moved behind him, one hand on his waist and the other pulling his arm forward. He was close. Closer than Soul expected, and closer than he needed to be, probably. Soul felt his face going red, and was glad Chet couldn't see. Forget about punching properly. If a fight started right now, Soul would just lie down and pass out. Is this good? Yeah, it's great. Just shift your weight and then step out. Like this. Okay. His fist swung through the air. Surprisingly, Soul with how powerful it felt. With the right technique, maybe anyone could fight? Not that he was going to. The moment he finished, Chet stepped back, pulling more distance from him than he needed to. So, did I do well? Yeah. You did great. Cool. Now I know how to punch. I know, right? This is your first time becoming a super epic badass fighter. But for the rest, maybe you could get someone else to teach you. It's kinda bad for my heart. Huh? Nothing. I don't know. I'd rather you teach me. Aw, it's so cute! So, what about teaching? Could you tell me how to do that next? Your legs are too long. Look, it's fine. All you have to do is aim for the face. But also you won't need to. Because that guy won't bother me anymore. I got a feeling about it. With a capital F. Just like the swear word. Alright, I think this would be a good time to oh wait, that's the history button. There we go. I think this would be a good time to save for now, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!
You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a